Hey everybody, it's Evan Jackson, CEO of Young, Bold, and Regal. We're here today with the incredible Amira. She's on the MTV's new hit show, Becoming a Pop Star. She's a singer. She represents all these incredible communities. And she's going to become the next pop star to us, regardless if she wins or not, right? You guys will have to tune in. But I want you guys to get used to her. So tell us more about how you came on the show, your singing career, and all that good stuff.
Well, thank you so much for the introduction. It's so great to be here. My name is Amira Doherty, but I am Amira Unplugged in my career. And so getting on Becoming a Pop Star was such a process, right? Like, it's such a unique show. There aren't any shows where people are being asked to write and record their own music and then create music videos like that every week, you know? So the process took about 3 months to actually vet all of these candidates. And then it came to the 8 of us who actually made it on the show. And tomorrow night, you will see the finale with the top 3. So that's me, KB the singer, and Semi Hawk. I started singing when I was really little. It's very important to me, important to my family, especially my dad, who is a singer and my only vocal coach, you know. And I grew up just listening to all different kinds of music. My dad loves world music, rock, all hip hop, everything. My mom brings in more of like the neo soul kind of, you know, things like that. And we kind of
Erica
are
Badu,
in this constant,
all that.
yeah. Oh, okay, it's funny you say that because that is her muse. Okay. And we're definitely in this like funky creative space as a household with musicians and artists, and so it's been really great to be the only non-genre, like genre bending artist on the show, with all these influences that came through my life.
And I think that's where the musical palette is now for the regular musical listener.
Mm-hmm.
20, 30 years ago, we had a cassette, our CD, we had our standard, probably 20 songs we listened to, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now we have a whole world of music to listen to. So how was it for you to create your brand of music being genre bending, meaning that you could sing any type of songs based off of your musical expertise and off of your vocal range as well?
Yeah, well, you know, like I said, growing up, every kind of music was played in the house, and it was really important. Like, especially like my dad and I would like study kinds of music sometimes, and then I'd go in my room and just listen over and over and be obnoxious and make people at school listen to different things because it expands not only your mind but your worldview, right? And my goal is really to bring people together. And I feel like there are a lot of ways to do it, but I've never seen anyone try to do it by reaching people directly through their favorite kind of music, you know? So I want to bring things like country and soul, hip hop, and, you know, jazz and all these different things into a melting pot over positive messages. And that was something that really, I think, stood out on the show, and the judges commented on a lot, how they didn't know what was going to come next, but they knew the message was going to be good and they were going to be excited by it.
Most definitely. And then we love that through your music and through your overall being and personality, you like to bridge the gaps between your music and different communities and bring communities together. We know that you're part of the deaf, the hearing impaired community, and speak more about how you give back to that community in your personal life, but also what you like to do with your music when it comes to that.
Yeah, so it's funny. This show, it comes from TikTok, right? All of the people were found on TikTok. I've been on there for a little more than a year now, under my current platform, and one of the best things that has come out of it is reaching out and feeling a part of the deaf community even more than I did before. Being hearing impaired, you know, sometimes you can feel isolated. And so to be in this place where there are all these people who have come together, and want to support an artist that wants to represent us, is really special. I actually, the other day, my last song that was released from the show, several deaf TikTokers came together and made an interpreted version of the song, in which my whole family was crying. And so one thing that I've tried to do is incorporate sign language into choreography. I've tried to add textures and rhythms that you can feel into my music, because that is a way that deaf and hard of hearing people are able to enjoy sound. And so I feel like if I can continue on this path and people keep on investing and believing in it, we could change something for real.
And then you've seen in the mainstream with the inclusivity when it comes to the hearing impaired. Coda doing magnificent at the Oscars. Troy Custer making history as only the second deaf actor to win an Oscar. But what do you feel that there needs to be done more, not only on the mainstream pop culture side, but mainstream in general? What as a community, not only the hearing impaired, but as a whole, what do we need to do better to make people feel more inclusive?
Absolutely. I feel like that's a great question because there's a lot of things that are happening. It's almost like from the outside in, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we have interpreters at shows, and that's amazing. And I'm not detracting from that. But are people being intentional in their music about how they're creating it for the audience that they have brought interpreters for? When it comes to Black artists or in different genres besides what they deem the typical, making sure that there is space and representation for that representation and people who actually want to help build these careers, which I think has been really powerful through social media, especially. Muslim artists are starting to come up. We're springing up like slowly but surely. And I think that there has to be more infrastructure in the industry to accommodate things like fasting or like how we dress and things like that, which was something that the show I think did a great job of.
So we know that you also wanted to reach out to the hearing impaired when it comes to the Muslim community and young children within the Muslim community, making sure that they felt seen as you would want to be seen and how you're seen now.
Absolutely. I think growing up, one of the most important things to me was to feel represented. And so while this part of my identity wasn't, I really looked to artists, especially artists of the 60s through the 80s, to see just how far reaching Black sound is. And I always wanted to feel like that sound could also be connected to me as a whole person, including me as a Muslima. And I feel like now that we're in this era where you can't hide people anymore, right? We're making content. They're not just putting us on screens. I'm able to get out there and be like, I'm Amira and you have to accept me how I am. And I'm so encouraged by artists like Ain't Afraid and Nilam and reporters like Noor and all these different people who are using their platforms to make kids see that like you can be just a fun, cool person who also loves who they are.
Yeah, most definitely. And then recently I spoke with somebody, a former guest on the show, and she talked about with inclusivity, they don't want the narrative to be surrounded about what they're known about. They want to be
Mhm.
part of the narrative. And they
Yes.
have all the traits and attributes that is given to every other person when it comes to being an actor, being a creative. They want to be
Mhm.
included within the narrative. They don't want to be the narrative. So,
Right. Absolutely. I feel like that's something that's really important because there's a borderline between representation and tokenization. And so it's like when you have to be very careful because one, you don't want to speak for the entire community, but you want to show I am a piece of it, right? And so that was very important for me, not only on this show, but as my career continues, letting people know, I'm proud of who I am, and this is a community that deserves respect. But also, I'm an individual person with my own quirks and weird stuff, and you should like me for me.
exactly. And then not if, but when you work with some of your favorite singers in the industry, who are they? You have such an eclectic array of musical stars that you've listened to over your lifetime. But who would you absolutely love to work with? Maybe two or three people that you see yourself. Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, that is so hard. I always say Erica Badu because, like, she just, oh my goodness, she just is always looking to what is next. I
Mm-hmm.
would say on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, if you know Aurora, she's a fantastic
Yeah.
like European artist, does a lot of cinematic, meaningful pieces. And then probably Burna Boy, excuse me.
Yeah.
He's so worldwide, those Afro beats. And
Uh-huh.
I saw a video of him, I think he was performing in Sweden, and it was so cool because they were all singing, and trying their best to match the dialect. I just feel like they're all so worldwide.
And then when music, it's an international language, and with Burna Boy, it's just he's just so cool doing it. And then you hear his music, and you're like, wow, he's cool, and his music is cool.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. No, I have all the albums, like, because every song is so different, so forward thinking.
And without giving anything away for the season's finale, what's one word for somebody to tune into the season finale? Maybe somebody's on the fence. Maybe a word will just push them right to the edge, have them tune in to the season finale.
Epic. It is epic. Everyone's songs, the sets, the dancing, it is worth a watch. If I wasn't on it, I would watch it.
Yeah, I love that description, because it's funny, because the other day I was on a red carpet and somebody said, TikTok is the new radio. And I was like, wow, that's such a profound statement. So speak to the fact that not only TikTok is the number one website in the country, surpassing Google, right? But the fact that TikTok, you can be discovered, you could be seen, and then you can also have a platform of your own. Talk about how you developed that on TikTok and how you came to the realization where you're like, wow, this is such a powerful platform I could use.
Definitely. I never thought that I would be on a social media platform where I could be so myself, like from my first and second video, people were like, who are you? What are you about? And it feels so communal, whether it's like going on live and like just meeting new people who are interested in my sound and my story, or translating TikTok into the physical world, making songs with people, doing a TV show. You never expect it. And I think that something that TikTok is really doing quite well is taking these songs and making them things that people can blend into their own life and blend into their own creativity. Whether you're a chef or an acrobat, whatever, you can incorporate music into what you do and find ways to share it in such a unique way. I've had videos where I've made a song just for the app, just for fun, or to show a piece of myself. And I've had hundreds of people make videos, whether they're animating something or they're running or something really cool. And I think that I've never seen another platform do that.
And the way I describe TikTok to people, I say it's your favorite social media platforms over the last 20 years. So it's an amalgamation of AIM for those Gen Zers. AIM is the Instagram Messenger. I'm very old school like that, right? So it's AIM, it's MySpace, it's Facebook, it's Instagram, and it's of course TikTok itself. And it's this huge juggernaut where it could be the radio, the television, the information station. Getting back to the TV show that you're on, where can people see the season finale, and when can people see the season finale?
So the finale comes on MTV at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central, and then it replays at 10 for Los Angeles, so for the West Coast. And after it's on MTV, it is available on the MTV app. You do have to have cable, but they're also planning to release it elsewhere. So like, stay tuned on my socials as well, because I'm gonna be dropping that as soon as it's out.
For sure. And then let's brag a little bit on the fact that you're on MTV. I don't know about you, but for me, MTV, VH1, those were my stations before the reality TV shows. Those were I discovered artists that had been around for 30 years, or I discovered new artists as a kid watching Behind the Music, featured music videos. But now you are here on a show on MTV about the original title of MTV, music television.
I know, it's such a, like, it was really surreal when I got the final call and they were like, you're on the show. I was like, what? But beyond that, I think MTV is coming like full circle, right? It was all music, then it became more programming, and this is their first music program in a while, and to see it like jumping off, is really, really exciting. I would share a little story. My dad, like I said, he's a musician, and him and his brother, you know, they would watch the VMAs when they first came out. And he was like, we're going to be on there one day, you know? And while he didn't go on MTV, I'm on MTV and he's there watching and cheering me on and being supportive. And so I think that that is a real full circle, exciting moment.
Yeah, that's very full circle and amazing. Me and my family took a trip to New York about 10 years ago. One of the last shows of TRL was there. We got to
Oh,
see a little peek of
wow.
that. So I love that MTV is coming back and they're doing a perfect mix of the old school when it comes to showing something featuring music and the new school reality
Yes,
combined
for
together.
sure.
So and also I wanted to ask you, what do you want the message of your music to be overall?
Absolutely. I feel like I have my overarching message, which is that we are more alike than different. And I think that through my music, what that translates as is we are all going through similar problems and we can find similar solutions, right? And so a lot of times I have a positive bend, but even if it's not a super happy song, I want people to feel like someone connects with them out there.
And also, what is your message to the hearing impaired community and those outside of the hearing impaired community? Something that they might not know, that something that they should be more informative on.
I think that, you know, the fact that we're such a multifaceted community, we don't all wear hearing aids. Some of us can't wear them. You know, we're not all. Some of us have accents. Some of us don't. You know, like different things like that. Some of us sign fluently. Some don't. But the one thing we have in common is that we are finding ways to take something that the world sees as a disability and turn it into a power and into a community. And we are not we're a force to be reckoned with. We have so many different people doing incredible, groundbreaking things.
Most definitely. And then where can people find you on social media?
I am Amira Unplugged on all platforms. TikTok and Instagram are my main ones, but I'm about to be on YouTube a lot more too.
And we always love to ask this question last. What makes you regal?
Oh, I think that I won't compromise for anyone, that I will always be myself and hold my head high. And I think that that is a regal way to be.
And it's so amazing to speak with Amira Unplugged. She said it beautifully herself. She's unflinching when it comes to her confidence, when it comes to her singing, when it comes to representing the Muslim community, when it comes to representing the hearing impaired community and the singing community at large. So shout out to TikTok. Shout out to everybody who's going to tune into this interview because it's a very special interview and you'll want to tune in. You'll want to tune in. So make sure to tune in. And even beyond that, check with Amira Unplugged. Follow her on social media. This won't be the last interview, but we're glad this is the first. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.